Hello, I'm back again with another episode of Tour of the Palate. Today is Japan, which I'm very excited for because I love Japanese food. Um, but I'm going to be making curry rice with chicken. And if you are unfamiliar with Japanese food, curry rice is one of the staples of Japanese cooking. So being able to eat all of the food. There's so much variety in delicious food. Sushi, if any of you like sushi, it's another good option. I didn't figure that for this go around I would try to make sushi, but yeah. So I wanted to read a couple of things. Let me go ahead and pull it up. I had created. Okay. There we go. All right. So this is maybe just like a little background about the meal. Um, so it's one of the most loved home cooked dishes in Japan. And the person who created this recipe said that they grew up on curry rice and their mom would make it. So the bite-sized chunks of meat, the thick-cut vegetables, the rich and creamy brown curry sauce, and the fluffy rice make every bite so comforting and exciting. Not only is it a meal, but it's easy to make on busy nights because it also tastes better the next day, so you have leftovers. If you wish to master Japanese home cooking, you must add Japanese curry to your repertoire. And, all right, so what is Japanese curry? Japanese curry is a thick curry because there are different kinds. You can have Indian curry and all sorts of other wide-ranging. They commonly include protein, sweet onions, carrots, and potatoes. And this sauce is thickened by a roux, which is, if you're unfamiliar with what a roux is, it's a mixture of fat and flour and an addition of curry spices. You can find many variations of Japanese curries. The regions and then to the households that make them. And the most basic one uses chicken, which is what I'll be making. Let's just tell you a little bit of the history of Japanese curry. Curry was introduced to Japan in the late 1800s by the British. They were initially Western-style stews mixed with curry powder. The Japanese adapted to their own version, and curry rice, or kare raisu, was born soon after. By the 1950s, S&B Foods developed a convenient instant mix, which is this company that I will be using, kind of like already ready to go curry mix. And this is the way a lot of people do it in Japan. I was going to make my own curry mix or roux, but I figured I would try to stay true to the norm of how people would normally enjoy this. And it's in block form, so everybody can make curry rice easily at home. And today, curry has become a staple of the Japanese home and is widely available in restaurants and food halls and departmental stores. Popularity extends beyond Japan. You can also find its presence in many other. So what makes Japanese curry different? Japanese curry is quite different from most other curries worldwide because it has a thicker consistency and the taste leans on the sweet and savory side. The unique sweetness comes from onions, carrots, and other additions like honey and grated apples, which is what I have here, and I'll show you in just a second. The sauce resembles a rich, thick demi-glaze layered with spices and earthy flavors. Some would describe Japanese curry more like a hearty stew than a typical curry like Thai or Indian. It isn't spicy, so it is suitable for children, although I thought maybe I would make it spicy a little bit, but I'll probably just stick to the recipe. They also have different varieties. So the kind that I was able to find is mild, but you can get, I think, all the way to hot, and it's really not super spicy. But anyway, and the key to the rice is you get Japanese short grain rice, which is stickier than basmati or long grain, and that makes it hold the sauce better. Cool. So that's a little background. Here are the ingredients. So we've got our carrots, which I've cut up. They're called chair style, I guess. Sometimes you hear it called that. Just basically like a diagonal cut, and then a blunt end. And they call them chairs because they sit like a chair.
And the reason you cut these away is just like more surface area for cooking, and it helps it develop a richer flavor. The potatoes I've soaked, so they are in there. The onions, just 2 full onions, and I slice them fairly rough because I like the texture of onions, so I didn't want it to be super thin and then it get dissolved in the sauce. And I've got about 1.25 pounds of chicken thighs that I've sliced. It's called sogogiri, which is where you slice horizontally because it gives more surface area to the chicken to hold flavor and it cooks better. Then I've got garlic, or ginger, garlic, grated apple, and then for the sauce, I've got some chicken broth, soy sauce, ketchup, and honey. And I think the oil is ready for these onions, so I'm going to drop them in. Sweet! Okay, so one of the keys of this is you do not really want to stir it a whole lot because the onions will not develop a golden texture. So I'm going to put that back over there. And these onions will cook for, probably about 5 minutes.
But while they're cooking, I can do a little bit of chatting. Very poppy. Okay, so let's talk about Japanese customs while you're eating. I have that pulled up somewhere. Let me find it real quick. How's everybody doing? Good. I hope everybody's having a good week so far. I know it's only Tuesday, but it's good. There we go. That's what we like to see and hear. Onions are so good. They add such a good depth of flavor to food. Yum, yum. All right. I also wanted to say happy birthday to Sarah. Happy birthday. If you're enjoying the deliciousness of hibachi. Okay, let me see if I can find this. Okay. So, hopefully you can hear what I'm saying over the cracking onions. There we go. Had to break them apart a little bit. Nice. Alright. Okay. So dining etiquette and manners. The phrase tadakimasu is said after or before eating, and that's expressing gratitude for the meal. So, itadakimasu. Expressing gratitude for the meal and for all who contributed to bringing it to the table. So whenever you're in Japan, itadakimasu is what you'd say to express like, oh, thank you for preparing this meal. After finishing, Gochi Susama Deshida thanks the cook and acknowledges the effort put into the meal. Chopstick etiquette is particularly important. Never stick chopsticks upright in rice, as this resembles incense at funerals. Mixing things around just a little bit. There we go. Some of the onions are still kind of stuck together. All right. Yeah, so it resembles incense at funerals, and you want to avoid passing food directly from one set of chopsticks to another, which also has funeral associations. Instead, place shared food on someone's plate or use serving utensils. So meal structure and presentation. Traditional Japanese meals follow the principle of ichiju sansai, which is 1 soup and 3 dishes, typically including rice, miso soup, and various side dishes. Each item is served in its own bowl or plate, and the visual presentation is considered as important as the taste. Which I have never been to Japan, but I would love to go, and I plan to go. I have a few family members that have family that are from Japan and still live there, and I've just heard nothing but really great things about it, so I'm excited to visit someday. Okay, rice holds special significance and is treated with great respect. It's eaten from its own bowl, which is lifted close to the mouth while eating. So when you're eating rice, you pull the bowl all the way up to your mouth. Leaving rice in your bowl is considered wasteful and disrespectful. So eat all your rice. Social aspects. Meals are often communal experiences where dishes are shared from common plates. Pouring drinks for others while allowing them to pour yours demonstrates mutual care and respect. So everybody takes care of everybody. Oh, these onions are like getting real good. I actually cooked them a little bit longer than the recipe says to, just to add a little more depth of flavor. Okay, let's see. All right. So pouring drinks for each other, serving each other, that's great. And then also it's customary to wait for everyone to be served before beginning to eat together, which is interesting because like I was raised in, not in a Japanese environment, but we always waited for everyone to get their food before we started eating. So I'm curious if that is a remnant of just influence across cultures, but that's really neat. Okay, let's see. Yeah, these onions are looking real good. I'm sweating them. See all the steam coming up? There you go. It's getting steamy in here. All right, the concept of hara-hachi-bu, which is eating until you're 80% full, reflects the Japanese approach to mindful eating in moderation. So when you're eating really delicious food, which I've been fortunate enough in my life to eat a ton of really good food from friends, family, restaurants, just experiences. Hara-hachi-bu is something that I didn't realize that I abided by because I stop when I'm about 80% full. Seasonal awareness. So Japanese cuisine emphasizes seasonal ingredients and preparations. So the menus will change throughout the year to reflect what's naturally available. Which I feel like in the United States, I mean, I don't want to generalize for everybody's experience, but the fact that we eat everything, I say we, a lot of people have access to eat everything all the time because we live in a place that can receive ingredients from a bunch of different places. So you have the shipping set up that way and importing. But I love the idea of only enjoying certain things at certain times of the year. Now, granted, if you want to treat yourself, you know, you have a meal, a comfort meal or something like that that you really enjoy, then that's great. Okay. The connection to seasons extends to the choice of serving dishes and decorative elements that complement that time of year. So these customs are reflective of broader Japanese values of harmony, respect for nature, and mindfulness in daily activities. So I thought that was interesting. Interesting because, and I'm just going to share kind of like how I think about food and what my experience has been. And I think for the most part, like, it's really good. It's good to have an appreciation for how everyone eats, how they drink, and especially when you're making another culture's food, I feel like the more you understand about how they consume food and how they share food and meals and drinks and the dynamics of interaction, it helps you develop a better appreciation for how people live. I was listening to a podcast today, and they were talking about how they really enjoy living in California because it's much more of a chill, ambient environment, and they're from New York City. So the place that you live often affects your choice of what you eat and what you drink. And not only just what's available, but the pace, the speed. If you live in an environment where everything is kind of hustle bustle, you see a lot of people kind of eating on the go, or they can also opt for a more chill dining experience where they go kind of out of the fray and into a quiet, cool, collected restaurant. Which I feel like there's an appetite, pun intended, for both. You want to go to a place that's like really chill and relaxing and enjoyable. I'm going to show you these onions because they're really starting to take color. And then I'm going to start cooking the chicken. Okay. Actually, I'm going to add the garlic first. I'm going to show you these onions. Onions are one of my favorite. Ooh.
They're getting all crispy.
But it's funny because like my taste has changed so much as I've gotten older. When I was younger, I had such a narrow mind when it came to food. And when I went to school, first place I went to school was Fort Hays. And Fort Hays has a sister school in China. And so we had a lot of exchange students. And I made friends with a couple of the students, and they became friends. And I would hang out with them, and they invited me and one of my friends over to their house, well, their apartment, to cook. And that was like my first. I had Chinese, what you would consider like American Chinese food. But I almost want to say that experience was so eye-opening to me because they served everything in a family-style environment where there was a big bowl and everybody was served out of it. And everybody just took such great care with, it wasn't to try and finish the meal quickly. It was to enjoy each other's company, to have conversation, to enjoy drinking together. And so I just really treasured that moment. And I don't think until right now I realized maybe that's where my appreciation for variety of food comes from. Huh. That's cool. Learn stuff new about yourself all the time, or you can. Or you can be insane. Definition of insanity is eating the same thing every day. Maybe my son is insane. No, he's not. Only on the outside. It'd be interesting to hear how other people came, and traveling for work. That definitely lended itself to being, yeah. Let's see. Okay. Add the garlic and the ginger in here. Yeah. Okay. And in, as Gordon Ramsay would say. Okay. Just gotta get that combined. Temperature, I think, is still okay. Let that get a little bit fragrant, and then I'll add the chicken in here. I could probably reduce the heat a little bit. You can go ahead and add the chicken in. Just really want to cook garlic and ginger until it's fragrant. Cook it any farther than that, and it can become bitter. You're really just supposed to cook this chicken until it's no longer pink, because it's going to sit in a roux. It's actually going to sit in the curry sauce for a while. So, hopefully everybody can still hear me, because this is pretty loud. Alright. Hey-o. But yeah, traveling definitely opens you up, or can open you up to trying new kinds of food. As far as Japan's concerned too, I mean, of course you gotta go to Tokyo, but I've heard Kyoto is such a cool city, and there's just so much, there. Okay, looks like we're getting kind of close. Let me get this chicken broth situated.
Chicken broth. Wash this out.
You don't want it to burn. Turn the heat down just a little bit. These onions are looking really good. Here, I'll go ahead and give you an aerial view.
Delicious.
All right. Now I'm going to open this and Get some paper towels because I need to wipe this out because I was using it earlier. And then I'll pour in this. Ta-da-da. Oh, it smells so good. Onions, garlic, ginger, chicken. Yum. Yum, yum, yum. So we'll go ahead and we're going to put 4 cups of chicken broth. And you could use stock too if you want. There we go. There's 2 cups. Okay. And this is going to help deglaze the pan, and also is going to be kind of like the delicious sauce that's going to start doing its thing. I'm going to put another 2 cups. It's funny that I actually could have just poured this whole thing in there instead of measuring it, but my first time making a recipe, sometimes I don't do conversions as well as I should, so maybe I should not do that. Okay, I'm going to take a break for just a second, and I'm going to read. Okay, so we reduce the sodium. Okay, if you're using homemade curry roux, you don't need to worry. Okay, I'm just going to make sure that there aren't bits on the bottom, because if they are, they will burn. So I'm just going to do a little push and pull on that. And, okay. Then I'm going to add in the other saucy ingredients. There we go. Okay. Now we're adding the grated apple. Grated apple. And the honey. And the soy sauce and the ketchup. Get out of there, honey. Not you. Honey, come on. There we go. Got it. Then we put in the soy sauce and as Gordon Ramsay would say again, and the ketchup. And ketchup is my son's favorite food. It's actually kind of funny how much he likes ketchup. Stir everything up real well. I'm gonna use a little spoon to get all this ketchup out. One of his little tiny spoons that he has actually just eaten ketchup with. Some people may be weirded out or grossed out by that. He is not one of those people. Okay, cool. There we go. And now I'm gonna go ahead and wipe this up before it gets solidified on there, because I don't want ketchup embedded in my oven or range, whatever. I'm gonna bring that lid over because we do. Okay, so we go ahead and stir this up just a little bit more. Oh, it smells so good. Okay, and the ketchup. And now we're going to add. So the broth should barely cover the ingredients, which is exactly what we have. So go ahead and add the carrots. Boom, baby. And the potatoes. Stir everything together. There we go. Okay. And the other thing is, like, there's just so much stuff in here that has moisture in it, so as it cooks, it's probably going to get some more moisture. which will be good. So now, I need to simmer this. So I'm going to turn the heat up a little bit. Medium-low heat. I'll show you what this looks like so you can see. That was redundant, huh? That's what it looks like. Just a pot filled with delicious stuff. And then it will turn into curry. And the interesting thing is when you use these tablets, you go one at a time, and then you just kind of like dunk them in the curry. So anyway, kind of fun. And this is gonna get to a simmer, and then we will turn the heat down and put the lid on, and then we're gonna do that for 15 minutes, and then yeah, and I'll cook it for longer. So I'll probably stop this video as like a part 1. But before I do that, I'm going to tell you all some jokes because it's fun and I like to do it. Entertainment for the evening. Free to you. Well, maybe not free to you in the sense that you will be groaning, but still. Maybe dignity. Okay, here we go. All right. I will avoid not safe for work jokes because they're dad jokes, and some of them could be considered that, but I just don't really want to. Okay, here we go. Interviewer: how much amount of milk, or how much milk does your cow produce? Farmer: which one, black one or white one? Interviewer: black one. Farmer says 2 liters per day. And the white one? Farmer says 2 liters per day. Interviewer says, where do they sleep? The black one or the white one? Interviewer: the black one. Farmer: in the barn. And the white one? In the barn. Your cows look healthy. What do you feed them? Which one, the black one or the white one? Interviewer: black one. Grass. Interviewer says, and the white one? Grass. Interviewer is getting annoyed. But why do you keep asking, or keep on asking if I'm asking about the black or the white one when the answers are the same? And then the farmer says, because the black one is mine. And the interviewer says, and the white one? He goes, it's also mine. Oh, man. All right. This is one of my favorite knock-knock jokes, and it's funny because I'm getting a lot of this stuff from Reddit. So if you're curious as to where I get a lot of the material, Reddit, Dad Jokes subreddit is where I like to get a lot of this stuff. But this is actually one of my favorite knock-knock jokes. Knock, knock. Who's there? Dishes. Dishes who? Dishes Sean Connery. You want to say it like Sean Connery? Dishes Sean Connery. Also, a fun fact, Sean Connery, not even a fun fact, maybe just a funny thing. There was a movie called League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. If you have seen it, there's a scene in there where he says to shave the village, and he means to save the village, but since he's saying it like Sean Connery, and they're hairy people, so another Sean Connery joke that I like is a book fell on Sean Connery's head, and he said, I only have my shelf to blame. Oh, man. Okay. I'll tell one more, and then I'll cut this video, and I'll start after the curry is in a different place or different stage. Okay, this one's also good. What do you get when 5 fish are divided by 2? 2.5. All right, I'll be back in just a little bit. Thanks for tuning in.